Hello everybody,
Hello.
Welcome to Only Hands, the Die Hard film fan review.
Just chat about films.
Yep.
But obviously Die Hard is a good film because that's why we've called ourselves Only Hands, after Hans Gruber. Some brilliant wordplay there. Yeah, that's what we can look forward to. And so we're going to, the way we do it is we talk about a film we've both seen and just a little bit about the premise. There will be the odd spoiler here and there, just so you know. And then we touch on 4 different categories. Mm-hmm. First is sort of like the story and the writing, what we think of that, and we give that, we do it separately. We give a mark out of 5, and then we talk about the look of the film and how well we thought it was sort of directed and cinematography. We don't know about the technical details of this stuff. We're not camera operators ourselves, but you know, just how it looked to us. Third one is the acting, what we thought of that. And then the last one is just entirely subjective, how much you liked it, how much I liked it, just enjoyableness. And then we take those 4 marks out of 5 for each category.
Yep.
And we'll add them up. I'll give my score out of 20, you give your score out of 20. And then, just because everything seems to be usually marked out of 10, normally, we'll chop our score in half. So if I have, 15 out of 20, then my score will be 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's it.
So there are lots of 0.25s, or there will be throughout.
Yeah, it can be a bit fiddly. But we're going to start, since we took our name, we're inspired by Die Hard. We're going to do Die Hard, but also because we decided to choose films based around the Harry Potter movies, in terms of not the 3 main actors in those, but take some of the supporting actors, but look at other films they did outside of Harry Potter. And obviously the late great Alan Rickman, his first ever film was Die Hard, which is kind of amazing when you think about it. That was his first screen role in a big movie. And we're going to talk about Die Hard.
Yeah.
Which, for those who don't know, it's probably a film you've heard of even if you haven't seen it. It's an 80s action movie. Bruce Willis plays John McClane, who is a cop who's not divorced but separated from his wife. And he flies from New York to go and visit her at Christmas when she's at the work party in the big skyscraper she works in.
Nakatomi Plaza,
I always forget the names, thank you. But on the night he gets there, she's not expecting him, he surprises her, but also what surprises everyone is a bunch of terrorists led by Hans Gruber, Alan Rickman, show up, and they're there to take people hostage and have a list of demands, but other things happen, and it's just sort of an iconic Hollywood action movie of its time.
Yes.
Pretty much. I think it came out in 1986, I want to say. So, God, it's about 40 years old, that film.
Again, I suggested we do some research and look at names, times and so forth. But, as per usual, we've decided not to.
You can look it up yourselves, you've got the internet.
Yeah,
So,
it's in the 80s at some point. Back when Bruce Willis had hair.
Yeah, it's that old.
Yeah. So story-wise, I'm going to be quite harsh here. The story is, for me, very bland.
Yeah, it doesn't grab you very much.
It's not particularly in-depth. It's just...
It's simplistic.
Starts off really interestingly because we see McClane. He's just got off a plane. He's going to see his wife. But we don't realise until he gets there that she's not expecting him. And then it gets into the action stuff.
Yeah,
and that is pretty much it.
It takes its time. It takes about 20 minutes before the terrorists show up. Because that's how they did films back then. You could take your time a bit more, whereas now there's so much coming out and it's all desperately trying to grab your attention that probably if you made it today, the terrorists would already be there and there'd be action straight away before McClane even shows up.
It's not like Endgame where Loki gets killed like 2 minutes into the film and then Sorry, you've not seen it, so I've ruined.
No, I'm not really
superhero
interested in
film.
Marvel movies, so I can live with that spoiler.
So I gave it a 2.5 out of 5.
Okay.
What about you?
I gave it a 4 because I try to look at each film as to what it's trying to do, and Die Hard is an action movie. It's a genre movie. It's not trying to be Citizen Kane or something like that. It's action, and it gives you loads of action. The story is very simple, but I don't mind that if it's immersive enough, and there's all kinds of little twists and some great different sequences, like when Hans meets McClane, but McClane doesn't know who Hans is, so there's that tension, oh my god, what's going to happen? Or like when there's a bit where McClane has taken his shoes off, and so they shoot out the glass, the bad guys, knowing McClane will have to run through this broken glass, and like, oh god, even now it makes me wince.
Yeah,
so I really enjoy it. I think for an action movie, it's a really good story. 4 out of 5.
On rewatching it, which was admittedly a couple of days ago for me, I know it's a bit longer for you. There's a bit at the beginning on the plane where he's speaking to a guy on the plane who tells him to de-stress from the flying is to take your shoes off, and I kind of feel like that was kind of an afterthought. So they could get his shoes off. Yeah,
there has to be a reason why he takes his shoes off. When he gets to the skyscraper, he's a bit stressed, so he decides to take his shoes off.
And do what this guy has suggested he do. But yeah, I gave it 2.5. I don't know whether I said that. You gave it 4. On to the kind of direction and how the film looks.
I mean, I gave it 4 again. I think it's really well made, really well directed. It's really slick, and there are some great images in it that really stay with you. Like when he's jumping off the top of the building as it explodes, and he's got the fire hose wrapped around him to catch his fall, but then he falls off the edge and he's hanging there, and he has to smash his way through the glass to get in the building, but then the other end of the hose breaks free, and you see it through the window fall behind him and drag him towards the edge. And so it's like, it's really well made and really slick, but also kind of funny, and yeah, I think it's not my normal kind of movie, actually.
No, you're not an action film.
And so to a degree I admire the film more than love it, but I think it is really well made, so I gave it 4 out of 5.
I gave it a 3 out of 5 because even though there is the slick stuff, it's a copy and paste action film.
Oh, okay.
Sorry people, I know this is controversial. But on rewatching it, because we're now in this to kind of dissect films. When you dissect it, you kind of then take off a couple of layers and realise that what's inside isn't as good as
you can get that. Sometimes you watch something really good, and then when you think about it, you're like, oh, I guess it's not that good.
So yes, I'm sorry, but 3 out of 5 for me.
Okay. Acting wise,
look, this is a performance of 2 actors, really, for me. It's just Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman. All the other characters could be anybody playing those parts.
Fair enough. Yes, I see your point. Yeah, Willis and Rickman are these are almost iconic performances they give with these characters. That's what you mean.
And Bruce Willis shows in this film, this being his first major film, I think
so.
That he has acting chops, and he's not just in it to be a hunk of muscle.
Yeah, he could always act. There are other films he did, like Pulp Fiction and stuff, where you're like, this guy can really act.
Yeah.
The thing is, he sort of did so well as John McClane, and they made loads of sequels, that I think he never got maybe as many opportunities to extend his range.
No, that's true.
Even though he's really good in other stuff. You mentioned a while ago, what's the comedy he did? To Die For.
Death
Not
Becomes
To Die
Her.
For. Death Becomes Her. Sorry, not To Die For. Death Becomes Her, and how hilarious he is in that, and how un-Bruce Willis he is.
Yes, definitely.
He's really good.
And I think we all know now in the media that kind of towards the end of his career, he just took on roles to basically just bring in the money.
Yeah.
Because I think he knew for quite a while that his medical prognosis is
He doesn't work anymore, does he?
So it's a shame that he had to make those decisions, but I kind of feel like it would have been great to have seen him do more films, because I think the last film he really acted in, the last one I can remember is Hostage, and that must be 15 odd years old now.
I've never even seen Hostage.
But it's kind of a similar type film, actually, but there's kind of a performance in there as well, rather than just... and obviously, the podcast being called Only Hands.
We obviously adore Alan Rickman,
Yeah.
He's amazing, he's just brilliant.
He's the pantomime villain, basically, in the film.
Yeah, but he it's a very big, flamboyant performance and stuff, but he's funny, he's also quite scary for at times, and he plays it all very it's a bit flamboyant, but he's also utterly believable in everything he does. I think he's great.
Absolutely, and also there is the point that kind of at one point Carl, who is the lead henchman, shall we say?
Yeah, I think so.
Who is intent on going straight for McClane straight away because his brother's been killed. You see the cold calculating puppeteer in Hans Gruber who says, right, you can kill him, but we need to do this stuff first because they're not actually terrorists.
Yes.
They're thieves.
Plot twist, they're just there to steal loads of money or bombs or whatever.
So I think he is and was great in everything he was in.
Yeah, he's always very entertaining.
And
all kinds of things, the dramas, the comedies, Galaxy Quest, love that film.
We've got to look at that because it's got somebody else who I love in it as well.
So I gave the acting 5 out of 5 because for what the film is, I think everyone does everything really well, even the support characters who, don't have as much to do as the central two parts. But there's no one in it I'm like, it's a shame they're in it, they're a bit rubbish. All of them, I think, are great, personally.
So here's a question for you. The other parts, can you name any films that any of those actors were in outside of this one film? And I'm not counting sequels, because I know the buddy cop is in Die Hard too.
Yeah, but I mean, off the top of my head, no, even though I know I have seen some of them in other films. Like the two FBI agents, Johnson & Johnson. The one...
The white guy.
The white guy, he's definitely been in loads of other stuff.
He's been a villain.
Isn't he a villain in one of the James Bond movies, like License to Kill?
Yes, it's License to Kill.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't name him, but so that... I know what you mean, but, even if... I'm not thinking about their other performances, just their performances.
No, of course, but this is just to kind of say why I've given it a 4 out of 5. It's only about the two people for me, because there's also the real gripe for me is they end up bringing in a kind of interesting character right at the beginning, which is the chauffeur, Argyle, who picks up John McClane, and there's a lot of banter between them. And it kind of feels like to me in the script, they've kind of remembered that they've got this guy who's in the car park downstairs.
Yeah, he's just waiting.
And they've just got to give him a scene to do something. And I think that's obviously, actors will take a role because any role's a role.
Mm-hmm.
There are no small roles, as Michael Caine said, who we'll speak about later. So I've given it 4 out of 5, but those 2 great performances are great performances.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think they're flawless, or the whole performance as a whole is a 5 for me.
Fair enough.
So I'm not sure if you like this film or not.
Well, just personal liking, I gave it 3 out of 5, which sounds harsh given everything else I've said, how good it is, but I admire it more than I love it. Like, an action film I love is Predator, which is the same director.
Right.
And I even saw it at the cinema last year, and I went with a friend who'd never seen it before, and even she loved it, and she's really into art house movies and stuff. She was like, "That was so much fun, just flew by." For some reason, Die Hard just doesn't quite... I enjoy it, but then I'm sort of done. As soon as it's finished, I'm done, whereas Predator just stays with me for some reason.
So would you say it's like looking at a Da Vinci painting?
What?
Just in the kind of, that it's good, but you don't necessarily see it as your favourite painting.
Yeah, I've never compared Die Hard to the Mona Lisa, but yeah, like I can watch. I'm trying to think of other films off the top of my head that are even more extreme, where I'm like, yeah, that's really, really good. I'm just not very interested in it. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Like, I look at that and I'm like, it's amazing, really well made, absolutely extraordinary. But I don't like it that much. But that's because I don't think it has much to say. I don't think it's as deep a film as a lot of people say. I'd rather watch Die Hard, but over both of them, I'd rather watch Predator.
Right. Yes, I'm with you. I think Predator is probably one of the greatest action films of all time.
Yeah.
Or the GOAT, I think the youngsters say these days.
GOAT. It's a GOAT movie. So what did you give?
I gave it 3. So
well, that makes sense given what you've said.
Yeah. So that's 5.5, 9.5, 12. So that's 6 out of 10.
Right. Well,
6.5. No, 12.5. 6.25.
6.25 out of 10 is your score. So mine, when I add up my 4 numbers, comes to 16. So half that. So that's 8 out of 10. That's quite an impressive movie. Excuse me, my voice is a bit raw.
It's almost like we've done this already today.
It's been talking all day. Yeah, it's a film I really like and admire, and I enjoy it. I guess I just don't go out of my way to watch it when it's on because I've watched it before.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's funny when you say that. You know the scene where he puts the C4 on the chair?
Yes.
And then throws it down the lift shaft.
Oh yeah.
I seem to remember whenever I've seen it on TV, the break always happens just before he's about to put the chair down.
The commercial break?
Yeah, the commercial break. So when I was watching it on one of the channels, because we won't mention channel names, just in case we do get sponsored, I was like, oh god, there's going to be a break now, isn't there? Even though I'm watching it of my own volition, can press play and pause at any point. Anywho, that was Die Hard, the first.
Yes, the first Die Hard.
The first film that we're officially.
Our first reviews. Yes.
So that was like we were saying earlier. What we're doing here is we're doing before, during, and after Potter. So this was the before Potter film.
Yes, Alan Rickman did this before.
We will be following this up with a film that was shot around during Harry Potter's reign.
I think so.
And then we'll finish off with something post Potter.
Nice.
But that is it for us for now.
Goodbye.
Hopefully we'll speak to you soon. Again, bye. So this is film 2 in the before, during
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Just choosing supporting actors from Harry Potter and looking at other films they did.
Yes. That's
Sheer
actually quite
hell.
simple.
So this time it's David Bradley.
Yes.
Who plays who in the Harry Potter films?
Filch.
You got it right. Filch. Filch the caretaker of Hogwarts. So he's in quite a few of the Harry Potter films, I think.
I think pretty much in all of them.
I don't know. I mean, he's in more than one.
Because they're all at the school, aren't they?
But I don't know if he's in all of them. So, but anyway.
Yeah.
So we were like, let's choose a film, and we went for some reason with Harry Brown. Can't remember why that one stood out, but we went with Harry Brown.
Well, the thing is, he's not the star of any film, I don't think.
As far as I'm aware. But,
And also, it was made during the filming of Potter, so it's kind of...
during that time.
Yes, so David Bradley is never the
He's never the
star
lead.
of anything.
He was
so.
born old, I imagine.
Yes, yeah. I can't imagine him as a youthful teenager,
buck.
a whippersnapper.
Yeah.
So we've chosen Harry Brown just because it's one of the many films he's done.
Yeah, we thought it'd be quite entertaining. It's sort of a thriller, but sort of...
It's an amalgam, really, isn't it? But we'll get
Yeah.
into that. But you seem to be better at explaining the film's
the
premises than
So the premise of Harry Brown is Michael Caine is Harry Brown. And Harry Brown is a pensioner, ex-marine. There'll be a few spoilers in this little review, but early on his wife, who's in hospital, she dies. And a long time ago they had a kid as well with them who died as well. Like
Yes, yeah.
Teenage daughter?
13,
Yeah.
I think, if we remember from
So, yeah, poor Harry. But also he lives on this London estate, which is the roughest estate you've ever seen.
ever.
Loads of hoodies, gangs, they do drugs, like heroin and everything. They have weapons, they have knives, they have guns. And it's just all out of control. And the police don't seem to really care, or are kind of powerless. And then David Bradley plays Harry Brown's friend, and he is really scared of how everything's going, and he lives alone as well, and he ends up being killed by some hoodies.
Yes.
And just all these things build up, and the police do nothing until Harry becomes a vigilante, and decides to go after, quite specifically, the hoodie who killed his friend David Bradley.
Yes.
That's the main thing. He's not there to really clean up the streets, he just wants to get the actual killer. And that's it, that's basically the premise.
Yeah, it's
how did you describe it? Like Death Wish?
yeah, it's like Death Wish with a pensioner.
Exactly. And it's sort of, I remember when the film came out, the adverts and the trailers and the posters, it was sort of selling it as like, because Michael Caine was very famous for playing Carter in Get Carter, which is a sort of classic British gangster film from the 70s. But that's an all-out gangster film. It's really good, but it's a proper genre film. This is like playing on, oh look, he's back, if Carter was older, but it's more of a character drama with some violence and action in it. Which we'll come on to, because I think that's partly what makes it interesting, but also partly where it falls down.
Yes.
So yeah, story for Harry Brown, out of 5, what would you give it, Clifford?
I've gone right down the middle, because so I've gone with 2.5. So I've done that because why? How do I put this into words? I think it's interesting that it looks at the plight in which the country has been in many different times under kind of economic stress.
Yeah.
In the fact that that's when crime tends to... Crime is always there, obviously.
Yeah.
But crime tends to get its worst when things are bad.
There was a thing, wasn't there? Because I think this came out during when like David Cameron was Prime Minister.
Yes.
And so there'd been the global financial crash, and in Britain there were all these cuts, austerity, and so crime issues. They cut a lot of the police force, and there was this campaign that David Cameron led called Hug a Hoodie.
Oh,
like,
yes.
oh, we can lower crime if all you good citizens go out there and be nice to the hoodies, as they were called. And ASBOs were a thing as well.
Yes, yeah.
Anti-social behaviour order things. And this kind of, Harry Brown takes this world and dials it up to 11, because it's so grim, this story, and bleak.
Yeah.
And I don't think, as far as I can remember, I don't think there's really any humour.
None. At all.
Like, Get Carter is a dark film, but there are jokes and lighter moments and like moments of brief hope. This is all bleak. It's all shot in brown and greys and, like you said, sepia. It's very sepia, and it's just all so grim and awful and just horrific. And that kind of makes it. It's not I don't think it's a fun film. Given it sells itself as sort of a vigilante movie, there's not a lot of fun to be had. Even Harry isn't really finding it very satisfying, killing all the bad people he has to kill.
No, but that's nice in a way to finally have a film where they're not, the hero is covered in blood and is actually like, ugh.
That's true, but I mean, I'm not saying I want him to enjoy it and then like have a bit of a party, woohoo! But there's no sense really of
accomplishment.
Yeah, or like, oh, he's actually done, like, even when spoiler, even when he kills the main bad guy, he just lies there trying not to have a heart attack.
Yeah. Oh no, he's been shot.
Oh, he's been shot. Yes, okay, so he's injured. But, there's sort of no grim satisfaction.
No,
there's no... I don't know, it's just so... I mean, this is a thing, like, I had with the film, is the police are generally kind of not helpful, apart from one detective who she really wants to make a difference. But the rest of the police don't care, they want to ignore it, they pull on the riot gear when they have to really go in hard. It's all corrupt and all about the optics. And so it kind of ends with this feeling that, I mean, I'm not quite sure, this is it. I think the film was made just so they were like, oh, let's get Michael Caine back into the gangster role again.
Yeah,
but they weren't really sure.
Did well, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And so, if there's a message or a theme to this film, it does seem to be, as far as I can tell, do you know what? Sometimes an ex-Marine just has to get his hands on a gun and shoot some kids.
Yeah. So I went with 2.5. I'm guessing you went a bit lower.
I gave it 2. Another problem with the story structurally. I don't often say I think this film is too short, but this film felt a bit short. And it's like the first half of the film is the build-up, and it takes its time, shows you the characters, why Harry becomes a vigilante, and then halfway through he goes out to get some guns from an illegal gun dealer. And so the second half is when the violence really kicks in, and he starts going after people and, getting information out of them and shooting the ones he wants to shoot. But then what is it? He doesn't have a heart attack, does he?
No, he has emphysema.
That's it.
And he
collapses when he's going after the guys he wants. Sees the main guy he's after, who's played by Ben Drew or whatever it's called, Plan B. But Harry collapses and so doesn't get him. So he's put in hospital, and then he quickly discharges himself from hospital and goes out to finish the job. When really it feels like admittedly he hasn't got long, because the female police officer, whose name I can't remember, but played by Emily Mortimer, she is the only one who clocks on that Harry might be a violent vigilante. So he has to escape before she can get him. but you feel like the film should have Harry go underground, get ready for his next attack on Plan B, make a Plan B for Plan B, and that Plan B should also be starting to think, how can I get this Harry guy?
Yeah.
But for some reason, they just go straight into the climactic sequence of the movie, which is the police put on the riot gear, the estate basically is burning, it looks like Gotham City on fire.
Yeah.
And all this, and it just feels like maybe they ran out of money and were like, oh, what can we do? Oh, just cut that chunk of the movie.
It'll still work.
And it does still work. It's not like it doesn't make sense. It just feels rushed.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a shame. So I gave it 2 out of 5 for the story. It's very bleak. It's a bit short and yeah.
So the direction and the look of the film. What did you think?
I mean, it's Harry Brown by name, and it's very brown by nature. Like, I gave it 3 out of 5 because it's fine. It all works. It's all,
and it pretty much starts off with brown. Well, the whole because the reason that David Bradley goes after the hoodies is because they posted shit through the letterbox
yeah. And
and
horrible
like
thing, they
it.
spit at him and
he's
yeah.
terrorised basically into action, and then that goes horribly wrong. So brown by name, by nature, and by beginning.
Harry Brown. Well, I guess he's called Brown to give the idea he's just an. See, this is another slight problem the film has, is it's trying to show him as like an average guy. Harry Brown, just an average guy. But first of all, he's played by Michael Caine, who's a big movie star. And secondly, he's sort of, I mean, I guess he is like a typical guy, but he's also an ex-Marine.
Yeah.
He's not just a guy, like David Bradley's character is just a guy.
Yeah.
He gets his hand on a big bayonet knife or something.
Yeah, his father's bayonet from the war.
But he doesn't know how to fight. So he confronts these kids who very easily disarm him, and it gets out of hand and they stab him. Whereas Harry Brown, like the first time he commits violence, actually, he's just walking along, and this guy tries to mug him at knife point.
Yeah.
And Harry won't say anything, he doesn't move. He seems almost stunned at what's going on. And then when the guy kind of goes in with the knife, Harry almost instinctively just does this move that pushes the knife into his attacker. Mm-hmm. So Harry is not your average guy. He knows how to look after weapons, use weapons, to torture people. Like, he's had a very violent background when he fought in He talks a lot about Northern Ireland.
Yes.
You know, which was basically a war zone.
Yeah,
and
still is to a certain extent.
And so, you know, the film sort of wants it both ways. Oh, he's an average guy, but he's also like an awesome fighter. Oh, it's a film about real issues, but it's also a vigilante movie. So it kind of works, but it's not very deep.
Yeah.
And so it's shot fine, it's all right, but it's very literally quite brown all the time. So I gave it 3 out of 5.
I was slightly more generous, I think. I've given it a 3.5 out of 5 because I think the brilliantly shot scenes are really good.
There are some really great sequences, definitely.
The scene where he goes to buy the gun and meets Sean Harris.
He's really good in this. And Sean Harris gets extra kudos, by the way, from me, because I can understand everything he says. He's a great actor, but he so often mumbles that I can't understand what he's saying. But here he's great.
And also one of the Dingles from Emmerdale is also sorry sir, I don't know your name, but
You should have stayed in Emmerdale, mate! Yeah, that's a great scene.
That scene is just, it makes your skin crawl.
Yeah.
Like, you can feel how that place would stink. And
that's really good. Yes, you could.
It just is so claustrophobic.
Because they're these drug dealers who also have guns, but they clearly never go outside, and they're constantly shooting up.
Yeah, because
it's horrible. It's
Sean
really
Harris
grim.
is emaciated. I don't know whether he did a Christian Bale type machinist deal.
I don't know, it's covered in scars.
Yeah.
But they almost look like self-inflicted scars, and not even like in a sort of self-harming way. Just like he just has these weird shapes on him.
Yeah. So that's shot really well. I think also that the reason I think it's taking on the economic kind of times of that period, not that it's great now, is when you see scenes in the pub, there only seem to be Harry Brown and David Bradley there.
Yes.
Although there's one scene where he gets drunk, but it still doesn't seem
that's
too busy.
I think that's in the evening, so there's a few more people there. David Bradley and Harry Brown, Michael Caine, seem to meet during the day and they have their little chess matches. And there's literally no one else in the pub.
So I think it's shot really well, and there's actual thought made behind it, the settings as well. I know directors do this normally, but I think it's, for a low budget film, it's
thriller.
done really, really well. And when you're made to feel disgusted, you really are.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning of the film, they shot there's the sequence with the hoodies shooting on.
The very first scene of the film is shot through a phone camera. Phone camera. And you're just watching some hoodies and they're sort of initiating someone into their gang. They make him take some, I don't know what he's on, but like some kind of drug. And then they go on a moped or something and drive around, they've got a gun. And they shoot at a woman who's got her baby. And they're just trying to scare her, but then they accidentally hit her in the head and kill her. And then they drive off and get run over by a lorry. And it's all on a phone camera. And it's done very well. But this is not a fun film, I'll say that.
No, if you're not in a good mood, do not watch this film. I don't know what mood you would need to be in to watch the film, actually. Not that it's a bad film, just that it's that kind of film.
No, but it's kind of, I mean, like, I'm comparing it admittedly to a film from the 70s, but Get Carter, that has a very grim setting. It's in working class Newcastle. It's very harsh, but there are moments of levity. You see moments where people are having fun, or there's like a scene where Carter's having sex with his landlady, but then these two gangsters from London come in, and they're like, we've come to take you back to London. And Carter pulls out a big shotgun and walks bollock naked outside with them to send them on their way. And these two gangsters are laughing. And then as Carter comes out completely naked with this gun, the next door neighbour comes out to pick up her milk, sees him and drops her milk. And it's really funny. Get Carter is great, but it's also a genre movie, so it knows what it's doing and it's very focused. Whereas I think the problem with Harry Brown is it's trying to be, it's a drama and it's dealing with the social issues, look at these poor hoodies. And there's a bit of sympathy for some of the hoodies, like one of them played by Jack O'Connell.
Yeah.
He's been abused his whole life, sexually.
And he's still being abused.
Yes, so, there's a bit of that. But at the same time, it's also trying to be a vigilante thriller, and it's like, which is this? And that's why I think ultimately it never quite works or becomes a classic.
For such a short film, it's trying to deal with a lot of stuff all at the same time, and only dipping its toes in to those issues rather than jumping up in with both feet. So where were we? Acting, right? Yes. I've given it 3.5 out of 5 because I think the great performances are really good. Michael Caine is just Michael Caine.
Yeah.
I enjoy Emily Mortimer's performance because though she's a police officer with great integrity, I don't think she quite knows what she's getting herself into. Yeah.
She's kind of, she's apparently asked to transfer to this, whatever you call it, precinct.
No, she chose to.
That's what I mean. So she asked to be transferred there.
Yeah.
Presumably because she wanted to try and make a real difference. But she begins to realise, this is all a lot harder than I realised, and also it seems like the police are part of the problem.
Yeah.
And at the end, she just seems to walk away. Well, she's been transferred out by her boss, hasn't she? So, so there's not much she can do. But yeah, her performance is fine. It's tricky for her because she's also pretty much the only significant female character in the film.
Yeah, the only, apart from the mother.
There's a couple of brief roles, so she does the best she can with what she's got. But it's sort of more the support characters who are more interesting, I think. Like Jack O'Connell's character.
Yeah.
He's a more interesting hoodie than Plan B, who... he has no redeeming qualities at all. He's a psychopath, he's misogynistic, he's violent, he's sadistic. He's just horrible.
Repugnant in the highest.
In every way. He doesn't even have... He's not even particularly witty or something. He's just horrible and filthy and disgusting.
No, he thinks he's witty though, I think. Because
he thinks
he
he's
says to Emily Mortimer to try and get a reaction out of her.
Yeah.
I think is what the youngsters would have called banter at the time. God, we sound old. Well, I sound old anyway. So they're great, and I don't think there is a bad performance in the whole film. Which even Ian Glenn, who's in it for maybe 7 minutes,
as the sort of chief of police, or whatever the head police
officer. They're all fantastic, and just I think the Harry Brown and even Liam Cunningham, who was
he runs
the Iron Knight and
the Onion Knight in Game of Thrones.
Onion Knight, he's fantastic. It's just it's a star cast of English kind of
British and Irish actors,
but also characters who always play big parts, never leads. Obviously, Michael Caine is great, but the other people, you know their faces, like the chap who plays Emily Mortimer's junior.
Her partner, yes,
who was the bad guy in Peaky Blinders in the first series.
Yes. And he's the title character in a film called Wild Bill, which is really good, which Dexter Fletcher directed, and that's a really good film. And it was awesome to see him in a lead role because he doesn't normally get those kind of roles. But he's really good. I wish I could remember his name.
So I've given it 3.5 out of 5. Don't know whether I've said that.
I gave it 3 out of 5, which actually sounds weird given how everyone's really good in it. But maybe this is more linked to the story because it's neither just a full-on revenge thriller or this is a violent drama dealing with these issues. None of them quite get to fully flourish the way you'd want them to, I guess. So I gave it 3. Everyone's good.
And as you were saying, the film is shorter than it should be because I don't know whether it's budgetary or, the script was...
or maybe just on the page as they looked at the script they were like, well, it all makes sense. Because... Again, it doesn't jar. It's just as you watch it, you're like, oh, suddenly we're in the end sequence. Okay, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
I thought there'd be more.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as Harry starts doling out revenge, it just takes off and doesn't slow down. So in terms of liking it, I gave it 3 out of 5. It's watchable. I'm never bored. But I've seen it twice now, and I don't think I ever need to see it again. Do you know what I mean? It's fine. It's fine, but it could have been good.
Yeah, I mean, I've also given it a 3, and I really liked it when I saw it at the cinema. But I think now that we are trying to dissect films, when you take the top couple of layers off of the film, the inside is not what you think it is once you've put it under the microscope, shall we say. Because I think it is lacking in various different areas. It's not a bad film, but one, you need to be in the right frame of mind, and secondly, there are better films out there. But also it doesn't have enough of any of the genres that it touches on to make it a great example of any of the very genres it's in. So 3 is what I gave it, so let me just have a think. So that's 7, 9.5, 12.5. So shockingly,
6 1/4.
this is exactly the same as Die Hard for me.
When will we find a source of action movie you like?
And I love action films because normally Sasha's the one that doesn't really go to action films because I love the John Wick series and Sasha isn't much.
Well, no, I remember seeing the first one and being pleasantly surprised. Like, oh wow, I can see the action. It's well done. That first one is good, and I enjoyed the second one. I sort of enjoyed the third one, but after a while, I'm like, it's all interchangeable, and I get bored. It's just Keanu Reeves in a black suit shooting people in the face.
For me, number 4 is a masterpiece. As an action film, I think it's got everything you need. But anyway, maybe we won't go back to that.
Okay, well, my score adding up is 11 out of 20, so that's 5.5 out of 10.
Okay, so we're not too far off.
No, and it's. I think that's a reasonable. Whereas my score for Die Hard, I was surprised actually. Like, 8 out of 10 for a film that I enjoy and I admire, but I don't love. That's quite a surprise. Whereas Harry Brown, I feel that's fair. 5.5.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yes. So TTFN. Well, until a minute or so.
Farewell.
We'll speak about the third film. Bye all. Feels like we've been doing this all day.
Strange feeling. So we're doing another film.
Yes,
that features someone from the Harry Potter films. The more I say this, the more I'm like, what a ridiculous way to have chosen some movies. But it's as good as any. So we've gone. Which actor is it this time?
Robert
Pattinson. Robert Pattinson. That was my French accent. Yes, so he plays Cedric Diggory.
Yes.
In the fourth one, I think, Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire. I think I think there's another one that he's in. He's in the one where. No, that is. I don't know. But anyway, he's Cedric Diggory. He's sort of a. Yeah, Goblet of Fire, and then he dies in the one after. No, dies.
No, he dies in anyway. So he's in Goblet of Fire, Cedric Diggory, and so we've chosen Robert Pattinson, and we've chosen his relatively recent film, The Batman.
Yes, because we didn't want to put you through Twilight. Any of them?
I'm going to be honest and say I didn't like. I saw the first Twilight movie randomly, and I hated it. And then during lockdown, I was going through a bit of a depressive episode. I wanted to watch something terrible to make myself feel better. And so I watched Twilight, and my God, I felt so much better afterwards. Like, genuinely. And so I watched all 5 movies. So no matter how bad they are, they have a special place in my heart. So thank you, Stephanie Meyer.
Yes,
good. So the Batman...
You homophobe.
So, the Batman, Robert Pattinson... So I didn't bother going to see this at the cinema because I was a bit done. Batman is the only superhero I really like, and I was just done with Batman movies.
But it was also pandemic times, wasn't it?
It came out like 22, I think.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The big Robert Pattinson film that came out during the pandemic was Tenet. Which was such an expensive movie.
Was he in that?
Yeah, he's... for me, it's such an unmemorable film. I'm surprised they even remember seeing it. He's the kind of...
I've not seen it, so...
well, don't worry then.
I thought it was Denzel Washington's son.
He's the main guy,
yeah.
And then Pattinson plays his sort of friend, sidekick.
Right, okay, I didn't...
Anyway, so I didn't watch it, and then you suggested the Batman for this.
No, I think you did actually. I suggested Pattinson.
Oh, right.
You said, I could watch the Batman.
Oh, maybe I was back in the mood for a Batman movie then. But anyway, so watched it eventually. It's 3 hours long, people. Long movie.
But it's not. It doesn't feel like 3 hours. I don't think when you watch it.
No, overall it doesn't. But we'll come on to that.
Yes.
But basically, the premise, in case you can't guess what a Batman movie might look like, it doesn't do the usual setup of like you see him as a little boy, loses parents, he grows up, he trains. This is set in like his second year of being Batman, which I quite liked. They just go straight into it. And the Riddler is going around murdering important, powerful people like Gotham's mayor, the DA, people like this, and leaving riddles. And so Batman has to work out what's going on, foil the plan, catch the Riddler, and he's working with Jim Gordon and Catwoman. And that's basically it. It's pretty standard, but that's the premise. There might be a couple of spoilers along the way, of course, as we talk about this. What did you think of the story?
Well, you see, because I am a big fan of the superhero genre,
DC and Marvel and others.
I would say I'm a main Marvel man.
Okay.
But the good DC stuff I do enjoy. But like you have just said, this is a different take on the beginning of a new Batman story.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed this. The fact that it starts off very slowly. It's not going straight into...
Yeah, it's not all wham bam straight away. I mean, it starts with a nice build up to a murder quite quickly, isn't it? But yeah, I know what you mean. It's...
I've actually given this a 3.5 out of 5 because for Batman, I think it's the most rounded and kind of hearty story, as in it gives you lots in it. It's not just, oh, this is Bruce Wayne lost and he's in the ice and then he's in a prison and then he's been saved by Ra's al Ghul. I don't even remember how Keaton's Batman started.
He's already established as Batman, and we just have a few flashbacks to him being a kid and losing his parents.
That's what I mean. It's the same stuff that happens throughout every new Batman's.
I never saw any of the Ben Affleck Batman films, so I don't know how much they did with that.
No, I watched Batman v Superman. I watched the Justice League.
Okay.
Can't remember much about either of them.
Thanks, Zack Snyder.
But yeah, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, which I know is really generous, but I think this is...
I don't think that's overly generous.
Great.
I gave it 4 out of 5. So
oh, okay.
I really liked it. I really... Maybe because I went in with low expectations.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed this. You get to see Batman being a detective.
Yes.
There's lots of... I mean, obviously there are lots of riddles to solve because of the Riddler. But he has to work things out and he has to use his tech, but he also has to work things out, build connections. And I had some mates who saw it at the cinema and they said they found the whole mystery that he's trying to solve, like who is the Riddler and how everything links up, a bit underwhelming. But I really liked it because it's a Batman film that, and maybe this is because it's of its time, I guess. It's maybe unfair to compare it to the Nolan and Burton films and stuff. But it looks at the fact that Bruce Wayne himself and his family are really rich and privileged.
Yeah.
And so they might, even despite their best intentions, be part of the problem of why Gotham is falling apart. Even though the Wayne family are one of the founders of Gotham, they're not held to be too culpable, but it touches on this idea that
they're not perfect.
This isn't great, and actually there's corruption everywhere.
Which
is a bit different to the usual, there's just crazy villains out there screwing everything up.
Which is also great because I know society at the moment has a problem with the great white saviour kind of trope.
Yes. And this film even directly addresses it at one point. Like Catwoman said, I found it a little bit blunt personally, but she's like, she's talking about the corrupt men in the world. She's like, they're white and they're privileged. And the film seems to be slightly aware enough that Bruce Wayne is a very rich, white, privileged man.
Yeah.
And I don't know quite how much of it fully... I sort of wanted it to lean more into the idea that maybe Bruce Wayne's father is corrupt, personally. Instead, it just makes him out to be a good guy who made a bad mistake. And it's the other men who are awful.
You see, the one thing that I think the story's slightly lacking is Paul Dano's The Riddler. I thought, like, early on we're told that there's... Oh no, the death that Thomas Wayne is linked
responsible for. Yes.
I thought that Paul Dano would be the son of the reporter that was killed off.
Oh, see, I'm glad it wasn't that. I got worried as it went along that at one point I thought, oh, are the Riddler and Batman going to be brothers? That's like crap, but it's not.
No, that's the Joker, dear. Which you loved.
What? Oh, yeah. No, I hated the Joker. So I thought it all worked quite fine, and
it does.
The story is really clever and touches on these themes. Like I said, I wish it had leaned a bit harder into the idea of the elites are corrupt. It would be interesting if Bruce Wayne comes away and like, oh, I'm actually part of the problem. But there's only so much one film can do, I guess. I like the story. I was never bored. I would say the ending went on a little bit too long, personally. Yeah. Once it reached the climax, I was like, okay, so now we'll finish. Oh no. It was a bit like the last Lord of the Rings film. You're like, so we're done? No? Okay. Now we're done? Oh, no, we have to go back to the Shire. We're done? No, now we're... Like, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was never boring, and I really enjoyed it. I will definitely go and see the second one in the cinema.
What I like about this is also that they've written it in a Gotham that could be within our world.
Yeah, it's very
It's not in this
modern
kind of comic booky type.
So I either like Gotham to be, they really lean into it's like 1930s, 40s, weird, or yeah, like this one, very contemporary, but it's got a grittiness to it.
Yeah.
And whereas the Christopher Nolan ones were also very contemporary, but it just felt too sanitized for me. Gotham didn't feel like Gotham. It felt like it could be any city anywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas here, there's a sense of a place, and it's Gotham, and it lives up to that name, and it's dark. So I liked it. Which brings us to the direction and technical stuff.
Yes.
Because something I noticed is maybe even most of this film is set at night.
Yes.
And a lot of it's indoors, and it's dark and shadowy, but you can see everything.
Yeah.
There seems to be so many films that when they're set at night, you literally can't see anything. And it's like, it might as well be a radio play, but here it just looked great, and it was believable, and really awesome, and really slick.
Slick,
really well
but
made.
not slick like the Bourne Identity type slick.
Yeah.
When you're seeing action, you're actually seeing the action.
Yeah.
Shaky camera.
More
work.
John Wick action than... Yeah, shaky cam I think has gone, finally.
Oh, thank the Lord.
And people are like, oh, actually it's alright to stick the camera on a tripod and just let some really good stunt performers and actors do their thing. That actually works really well. Yeah. So I gave this 4 out of 5 again for the director. I just thought, looked great, well made, never boring. It was great. Matt Reeves directed it. I've never really rated him very highly. He's fine. He did like some of the Planet of the Apes movies and stuff. But
Not the last one.
Not the last one.
Oh, thank
But
God.
he did Dawn and I think War. I
Right.
didn't see War, but I saw Dawn and thought it was quite good.
Okay.
So yeah, I liked it.
I've given it 4 as well.
Oh, nice.
I can't really expand more on what you've said because I think you've said all of it.
Oh, okay.
But also,
I saw all the words.
all the words in the world. I mean, yeah, like the action scenes are well done in the fact that it's quite bright, like when he's fighting in the club and there's flashing lights.
Oh yeah, that looked cool.
And he also looks like Batman.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
It's a very believable kind of
yeah.
Batman. Because they've gone with like armour, he has bulletproof armour and the cape.
But I mean,
the style.
facially, his face suits the
Yeah, which
Batman
surprised
suit.
me actually, because when I first heard he was playing Batman, I was like, what, the vampire from Twilight? Really? But he's not massively bulked up, but he still looks fit and strong and fast, and Yeah, the whole costume and everything. And also, I just want to say, I love the Batmobile. I think the Batmobile... It's not a tank like in the last one. I hated Christopher Nolan's Batmobile. It was just a black
But
tank.
it wasn't too far off the Nolan's Black Batmobile, I don't think.
Sorry, what?
It wasn't too far removed from that.
Well, in
It
this
just
one,
looked
it's
more...
in this one, it's an old car of some kind.
Yeah, but it still looked similar in a way to the shape
really?
of it.
Oh, I thought it looked like... Okay, that's interesting.
But it seems more practical.
Yeah, it felt more believable. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess in the Nolan ones, it is literally a tank.
Yeah.
I just personally didn't like it because I think Batman, even though it is able to, you can do it in a real and gritty way, like this film did. I like when there's like something slightly stylized about it, and I like that. Oh, the Batmobile is just this awesome car, and he shoved this massive, I don't know, jet fighter engine on the back. It just looked great. I really enjoyed that. It was cool. So,
And I think the
aesthetic.
Tim Burton one is too cartoonish.
Well, I really like it, but it doesn't look very practical to drive.
Yeah.
Very
Imagine parallel parking that car. Not that either of us are drivers. So.
I'm taking driving lessons, so I have tried to parallel
That's
park.
new.
So I would rather be parking Pattinson's Batmobile than Burton's or the fucking tank.
Right. So yeah, slightly off topic there. Love the black
Batmobile.
Black
It is
Batmobile.
black, and
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
Batmobile, the Blackmobile. Okay.
On to acting.
What did you think?
Right. So I think this is going to be ever so controversial here.
Uh-oh.
Because I don't think people are going to like this take, but I think we have finally found our best Batman.
Interesting.
And I really liked Christian Bale as Batman. In Batman Begins, not when he has the Bat voice.
Batman Begins, I think, is the best of that trilogy. The Nolan trilogy.
We have the best Jim Gordon.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. I'm agreeing with everything you say.
No, but I mean, it's going to be controversial to these people because it's Gary Oldman.
Yeah, I think Gary Oldman's good, but I think he is overrated personally as an actor. He's so big in everything, and whereas like Jeffrey right?
Jeffrey Wright.
Is he can just. I mean, I'll nitpick this film. He puts on this acting voice sometimes, and I want to say, no, it's Batman who talks like that, mate. You're just a cop. You can talk normal. But yeah, I think he's much more subtle and nuanced and interesting.
Yes.
And I agree. I think Pattinson is a brilliant. I really like Bale, but Pattinson just seems to do it very effortlessly.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they keep using the voiceover over the strings during the film, like a noir detective.
Yes, yeah, it's very noir, this one. There's no noir in the Nolan films, I don't think.
No, I do prefer Anne Hathaway's Catwoman.
Oh,
there was something,
her as Catwoman.
but I wasn't keen on Zoe Kravitz.
Really?
There was something about her. I think maybe the script she was given.
Okay.
Because even though she's given a large part of the film,
yeah,
I still think it was kind of skin deep.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
Because even when you find out why she's doing what she's doing, it doesn't feel like she's given anything more or any kind of real heart to do it. She just seems like the cat burglar who's just getting this person back for what he's done.
Yeah.
Notice I'm not giving any spoilers away.
Yeah.
But also Colin Farrell. I have to say,
as the Penguin, yes.
this man has come through some sort of...
He's had a renaissance.
Yeah,
he's now an Oscar-nominated actor.
Since Killing of a Sacred... No, actually, I would argue, going back as far as in Bruges, he has finally shaken off this bad boy kind of reputation.
He had a bad boy image, and it seemed like they were trying to make him into a massive star. And somehow it just never quite... Well, I guess I haven't seen it, but he did that film Alexander, which apparently was awful.
Yeah.
And flopped. And so he never seemed to quite get his place as a big star. And so he was around, and then he did In Bruges. And everyone was like, oh, this guy's really funny. It was a great film. And it was like, oh, he's actually a really good actor. And since then he's done, interesting stuff like The Lobster. I didn't particularly love The Lobster or Killing of a Sacred Deer, but they were very different films. And Banshees of Inisherin, which is a great movie. And now The Penguin. And he's just great. And it's, for me, a very different type of penguin. Normally the penguin it's all top hat and aristocratic, whereas here he's much more a gangster and a thug. And he doesn't mind getting his hands dirty. But he's also quite comical.
Yeah.
It's, I can see why I haven't seen the TV show they made of him, but I can see why they did that.
Yeah.
There seems to be a lot to play with.
Yeah, and he's, as far as I was aware, or I wasn't aware, that Oswald Cobblepot was Italian, because he certainly plays him as an Italian mafioso.
He's sort of he's a typical sort of mafia guy in this, definitely.
But he definitely sounds like a kind of...
That's what Italian, they're leaning into, they have the mafia stuff.
So I've given this a whopping 4 out of 5.
Nice. I went in hard and gave it a 5 out of 5 for acting.
So flawless.
Apart from Jeffrey Wright's voice at times. I just totally bought everyone. These are all characters I've seen other people do again and again. The Penguin, Catwoman, the Riddler, Batman. They're all done again and again. And I just enjoyed all of them. Again, maybe it's because I've only just seen it and I went in with low expectations. So maybe next year if I watched it again I'll be like, oh, maybe it's a 4 out of 5.
People, I do have to point out here that I've reviewed, we tried to review a number of films in the past that we've watched together, and numerous times this man sitting next to me has fallen asleep during films. Through this 3-hour epic, he didn't fall asleep once. I think this is telling that he's voting it so highly. For a 5, a film truly has to be like a diamond that is polished.
maybe I'm going in.
I'm not trying to skew
I'm just thinking about
but for me a 5 has to be kind of one of the best performance, the best ensemble performances ever.
Okay.
To reach a 5, because there are so many great films out there that just don't quite hit the mark.
That's fair enough. Then in terms of liking it, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I think it's just a really good Batman movie, and there hasn't been one of those. Like I say, I haven't seen any of the Ben Affleck stuff. I didn't really like the Christopher Nolan take on it, and
really,
as more time passes, I think those films look worse. So it's just nice to see a Batman film you can enjoy, and it didn't feel pretentious. It's aiming for something big, but it didn't feel pretentious. Whereas I think The Dark Knight Rises is a really pretentious movie.
I've also given this a 4, and the other thing I think that is nice about this particular iteration of Batman is we're always told Batman doesn't kill. They don't go heavy on that in this. I think the only real kind of indicator you have is that there's one point that Batman says to Jim Gordon, no guns.
Right, there's a bit where Catwoman wants to kill someone and he stops her, Batman, and says,
he stopped
he takes the gun and says no, because if you do that, then we're like them and we can't stop. But it doesn't make a massive I have one rule, or whatever. He's just like, no, we don't do that because that's too much.
Yeah.
And Yeah, I think it's great.
There was something else that just popped into my head.
Something else I like about this film is like, there's lots of action. There's like a big car chase. There's a great bit where he's being chased by the cops. Batman's being chased and he jumps off the building and kind of has to glide away. But, I mean, obviously it's all a bit larger than life. But it never, to me, felt ridiculous. Whereas like in The Dark Knight, there's that bit at night time where the Joker and his men are trying to catch Harvey Dent, and they like take out the helicopter, the police helicopter, by firing some kind of cable between two buildings, and I was just like, so you just happen to have a cable at just the right height to take out this. That it just felt lazy. Like Christopher Nolan and his team were like, oh look, cool, the helicopter crash, we'll just shove that in. Whereas here, somehow, even the ridiculous bits felt grounded enough that I could believe it and just enjoy myself.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne is rich,
Yeah.
but he hasn't got an army of assault weapons.
Yeah, he hasn't got Morgan Freeman and however many people are working on this without knowing what they're doing. You know, I always thought, isn't it weird? Isn't there someone who's designing a bat cowl and not thinking, this looks like that guy in the newspapers? Whereas here, it feels gritty and there's like grease on Bruce Wayne's hands as he does all his fixing and puts stuff together, and it just felt more believable. And that's what I liked. It was a Batman that is stylized, but I could buy into it.
And also, the other thing that I think is nice about this Batman film is it's 80% Batman, 20% Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, that's true.
Which they do make a mention of that. Oh, Bruce Wayne's making his appearance. We forgot to mention Andy Serkis.
Oh, as Alfred. Yeah.
Who I think is.
He doesn't have much to do, but he's good.
I don't think he's quite Michael Caine yet, but I think given more chance.
But he's more the Michael Caine Alfred, kind of talks, alright, Master Wayne.
Yeah.
Rather than the usual way, but hello, Master Wayne.
Yeah.
Type thing.
But I mean, in levels, I think he's almost at. Because I thought Michael Caine's Alfred was great.
He was great. I just got fed up with him because every movie at some point it would be, here comes the Alfred monologue of wisdom. During the war, he's like Uncle Albert in Only Fools and Horses. During the war, when we were committing war crimes, whatever. Whereas here, he is just the butler who genuinely cares about Bruce Wayne, and it's just done quite lightly, and not as heavy, not as pretentious.
And his heart is heavy for what happened to Bruce's father.
Yeah, he reveals something to Bruce about it. But it's done, it feels like there's a heart to this movie. For me, Christopher Nolan's big problem with all his movies, even the ones I quite enjoy, is I don't think he's really interested in human beings. No. None of his characters feel like humans. I think he's just interested in, let's explore these ideas. And that's fine, explore ideas, but you have to have human beings in there, otherwise for me it's just a bit dead and bland. So if I add up my scores, I get 17 out of 20, which is, do the maths, Sasha, 8.5 out of 10? Yeah.
Wow.
That's a solid bit, and that feels fair. That feels, that's come out good for me. I really like this film and I could watch it again.
So I've got 15.5.
That's pretty good. Hang on. 15.5 out of 10. That's pretty good. So what is that? That's 7 and 3. 14. Yeah, 7 and 3/4.
Yeah.
So almost an 8.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I mean,
that is a good film.
It is. It's a great film, and I can't wait to see the next one. But you're not so much of a fan of. Well, I'm a bit sick of seeing the Joker anyway. Yeah,
so there's a tiny hint at the end of this that the Joker is going to make an appearance.
Yeah.
And you get it, because the Joker's maybe not just the Batman villain, but the DC villain. Of all their really big famous ones.
Yeah.
He is so iconic. 2 people have won Oscars playing him. He's he's a great character, I get it, but there's a brief moment in the Batman where the Batman's badly injured, and he takes out this sort of shot that he pours in himself, and I don't know if it's just a massive painkiller or if it's an adrenaline shot, but it's green and it looks a bit weird, and I thought, oh, that's like the stuff Bane normally uses to pump himself up, and then Batman uses, there's a comic called Batman Venom where he gets into the same stuff. And so I thought that's a really subtle sort of Easter egg that the next film will involve Bane. That's really cool, because the obvious thing would be the Joker.
Yeah.
Maybe the next one will be Bane and the Joker, or whatever,
possibly. But
I don't know. We'll have to see. But I was just, it's the Joker. Of course, it's the Joker. It's always the Joker.
But my question is, do you see Blofeld in every James Bond film?
No, that's very true. No, you do not.
So come on, people. Let's put the Joker on the shelf for a while. I'm not saying completely forever. But there's a cadre of different Batman villains that people might actually want to meet.
It was nice to see the Riddler, and see the Riddler done really differently to how he's usually done.
Paul Dano, oh sorry, I forgot to say, Paul Dano was just amazing in this, because he's crazy, but he's not kind of...
Well, he's not just, I'm the Riddler, and I'm full of, like, he is, again, it's very much a Batman of now. He's almost a kind of incel. I mean, ignoring the sort of misogyny part of being an incel. He's this guy, he's got very good reasons for being bitter about where he is in life, and he has an online community, and he's a terrorist. He's a one-man terrorist.
Yeah, he's a YouTuber that... has lost it, basically.
But it's a different kind. The Riddler's very easy to be silly. All dressed in green, covered in question marks, bowler hat, purple mark. Here he's very believable and creepy. He's more creepy.
Yeah.
But
I get the incel kind of thing
it's
as well.
that vibe. I think it works really well. And the guys who wrote this, Matt Reeves, who directed it, and a guy whose name I can't remember, I'm afraid, sorry. But I think they did a really good, definitely compared to a lot of other superhero movies. It's a really good script.
So in short,
the Batman.
Watch the Batman. We both say this, and it's not one saying, yeah, it's great, the other one, not so much.
Great.
But do watch it. Speak to you soon.
Perfect cat, speak to you soon.